Hey up YouTube, it's me, Mr. B, your gaming gorilla, and I'm here to look at the Fallout 76 stuff that came out at E3, which looked absolutely amazing. This is after I recovered from my swimming this morning. My body literally feels like it's been caught nicking Mike Tyson's wallet, but we're going to get through this. I've been watching YouTube for the last 48 hours non-stop, and there's some things that I've noticed that are not being reported elsewhere that I've picked up on, which you might find interesting and might change your opinion of Fallout 76 if you already have a negative one, or might help the positivity that you have for the game if you're already on the hype train. So without any further ado, let's roll. Okay, so before I start making these points, there's a couple of things that I need to point out first. Obviously I'm going to try and keep this video under 10 minutes. Helps you, if nothing else. But some of these points have been touched on before. It's just, if it has been touched on, and I do believe that you do know about it, I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. The first one that has been touched on is that it is said, or Todd Howard did say in the EA conference, that you can play solo. Now, as someone who has put extensive amount of time into a game like Ark, I wouldn't recommend doing so. Yes, technically, you can play solo. However, knowing communities, any community, there is going to be a vast number of trolls, because you take Twitter, you take any social media device, there are trolls out there because they can bully people online. Bully's the wrong word, but they can troll people online that they wouldn't get away with in real life. It's too tempting for humanity's sake. So you are going to get trolls in Fallout 76 frequently. Hell, even I, in Ark, even I used to, like, if I had a running buddy, I'd take pop shots at him just for fun. You know, it's funny sometimes. So even though you can play Ark solo, if you are a single player soloist, I would think twice about getting this. But that's just my opinion on that subject. So now we've got that out of the way, we will move on to the next one. Okay, so my second point, and this is a point that any Fallout player will resonate with instantly. It regards the VATS system. As soon as it was rumored that this game is going to be an online game, the first thing that came to mind was that they take VATS out. Now, if you don't know what VATS is, if you're in Fallout 4, for example, you're running along and something jumps out, you press a button, it slows down time, you can pick your point, like shoot it in the head, shoot it in the knee or whatever, pick 4 or 5 points out and boom, 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 boom. Obviously, if the game is online, you're sharing the same instance as somebody else, so you can't stop time, because then it will stop time for them. So I instantly thought that VAT system wouldn't be in this. However, Todd Howard, in an interview with YouTube, actually said VAT system will be in this. I don't know how they're going to implement it, because he said it's going to be different, but there is going to be some form of VAT system into this, and it's going to be very interesting for me as a Fallout fan on how they're going to implement that in an online world. So yeah, VATS is in. Awesome! After watching the prior E3 reveal and then the E3 reveal, I noticed something wasn't quite right with the dates, etc. Now, obviously, in the pre-E3 reveal, I'm going to put my teeth back in a second, the date on the Pip-Boy was 25 years. Now, anyone who knows anything about it, was 25 years after the bombs dropped. Sorry, should be more specific with my facts. Anyone who knows anything about Fallout, or anyone who has watched the millions of YouTube videos that came out after that reveal, will know that that date was set 5 years after the vault should have opened. So it just assumed that everyone stayed an extra 5 years. I spotted something that could disprove that. Now, I'm not going to say this is a fact, this is purely speculation, but it is a bit of concrete proof in this. Now, if you look at the second reveal on the E3 trailer, look at the Pip-Boys. Now, the Pip-Boy itself, in the first trailer, would have sat on the side, and in the second trailer was actually dispensed to you. Now that tells me in the second trailer was actually Reclamation Day, but in the first trailer, the first reveal prior to E3, that player had actually gone back to the vault 5 years after coming out. So does that mean we've got a safe space inside the vault? Does that mean Vault 76 can actually be farmed? I don't know, but it certainly looks like to me that the original reveal trailer was set 5 years after Reclamation Day, which is why the place looks sparse. If you remember from the E3 trailer, you had the robots clean up and stuff, which you didn't have in the first trailer. So there was a lot more going on in the second trailer than the first, so that says to me that you can go back to Vault 76. Interesting. Can you imagine how many people are going to be camped in the halls waiting to take your head off to see what you've got? That is going to be a cluster duck if I've ever seen one. And yes, I said duck because I'm watching my swear words. Okay, so my last few points all sort of mashed together because it's all around about the same thing, and really, these are the big ones. This is what everyone's talking about and what everybody wants to know, and the YouTube interview, not many people saw it. Or from what I've seen, because if the news outlets had seen the YouTube interview, they'd be splashed all, or I thought it'd been splashed all over the news. So anyway, let's talk about modding, and most importantly, private servers. Dun dun dun! So, we'll deal with modding first. The one thing that the Fallout community loves is the modding service, because it is ways to make your game look better or play how you want it to play. A lot of people are up in arms about the online version of Fallout, because how can you mod an online game? You can't, because if you put a mod on a game, it changes it for the other people who might not want that particular mod, so you can't do it. Todd Howard, in the interview with YouTube, quoted saying this: "At launch, this is new for us," meaning the online game as opposed to single player. "Our focus is to have a well-running, robust service, and then some period later, we are currently still designing what the service looks like," meaning the mod system. "You'll be able to have your own private world and be able to mod it." That was his own words. So does that mean later on in the Fallout 76 lifecycle we get private servers in the same way that Ark gives you private servers? Because you ask any streamer, look at Neebs Gaming for instance, they do a whole parody on Ark, and it's all because of private servers. Because if they didn't have private servers, there's no way they could do their own parody, because you'd have other people coming in and trolling the shite out of them. So it sounds to me that Todd Howard is intimating that we're going to get private servers, and that obviously he doesn't give a date on this, and he doesn't say a month down the line or a year down the line. He just says that they are currently looking at it. An online game that you can have with your friends in a private server, will that go against how they want this game to be? Thinking about the nuclear sites and that sort of thing. Are you going to rent the game out to people who... So are you going to rent a server out to a certain cluster of people who are willing to play on the same server with certain mods? I don't know how that's going to work. But apparently we are going to get mods. Definitely, that's confirmed at some point in the future. But it also sounds to me that we might get private servers. That could change the landscape of Fallout 76. Because the one thing they did state categorically is that you don't have a server to choose from. And that confused the shit out of me. Because, and I'll tell you for why. Let's think of a map in a grid position, yeah? And each server has a map. I'm on server A, and I build in grid A1, my base. Someone in server B might also build in that exact same spot. I'm not going to be logging back into that server again because I don't have access to that specific server, because I could jump into any server, apparently, according to how it was put across in E3. So what happens to my building when I log in? If I log into server B, does it wipe out his building and my building's there? It doesn't make sense, and I don't think it was put across quite well how that system works. It's going to be interesting to see, that's for sure. but I don't get it, and I'm confused. If you've got any idea on how that works, school me, you know, give me the online tutorial 101 and get in the comment section and talk to me about it, because I don't have a bleeding clue right now how that's going to work, especially in modding system as well. So that's it. They're the big... Oh no, there is one more. This is a shady practice, and I don't like this at all. In the E3 presentation, right at the end, before the Starfield announcement and all that, he basically said that you could sign up for the beta. I instantly went to sign up for the beta and found out that the only way you can sign up for the beta is by pre-ordering the game. I'm sorry, Todd Howard, that is shady as duck, and that is dodgy practices. Now, they might change that going forward, and if they do, I hold my hands up. But right now, no, not happy. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. So that's everything I found on Fallout 76. Was it all stuff you already knew? If so, put it in the comments below and say, Mr. B, you're telling us stuff we already know. Is it stuff that you'd never realised? Then put that in the comments and say, Mr. B, you're a genius. Oh, chances of that's going to happen is nigh on never, but you never know. Whatever your thoughts on Fallout 76, get into the comment section below and put in your comments. Talk to me. I do read every one of them, and I do interact as much as I humanly can do. And it might take me an hour, it might take me a day, but I will respond. Speaking of subscriptions, if you've liked this video and you want to know more, and I've got some more cracking videos coming, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell, or you'll never know when a new video is uploaded unless you tune into my social media feeds. One last thing before I sign off, and yes, I know I failed at the 10-minute mark again, but you know what? This is actually a good reason why to fail. I have noticed in especially from bigger YouTube channels, a few comments and a few videos stating that YouTube is already full to the brim with content creators, and if it's something you want to do, don't do it. Apart from Rich from Review Tech, who did a fantastic video on it and actually turned around and said, look, if you are going to do this, by all means do it, just commit to it. And I couldn't agree with that more. And he actually gave a good few tips on what to do as well, and I really appreciated that video. Addressing these other people that are saying that there are too many content creators and all that, as a new content creator, I've got one thing to say. Get stuffed. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no content creator out there right now that could feasibly create enough content to keep everybody happy. It's impossible. The beautiful thing about you guys and the human race is that everybody loves different things, and there is no reason why another gaming YouTuber who starts tomorrow couldn't get your support, because at the end of the day, we all have different opinions, we all see things in a different way. And I couldn't disagree with those people more if I tried. I mean, I'm doing everything I can not to swear their heads off, because I've got a lot of very opinionated I'm trying not to get emotional on this. Very opinionated opinions on these subjects that I could literally fire at them. But rather than just shouting my mouth off, I thought I'd try something that I'm going to start doing in every video. At the end of every video, I'm going to give a recommendation to another YouTuber who is working his tartars off to bring quality content to YouTube and stuff that you might appreciate. One of these YouTubers is a young lad called Richie G. He's really nice to me on Twitter and things like that. But his videos are actually really good, and for a young lad, he's got a destined future on YouTube. He covers mainly international hip-hop and things like that, and he's reacting to it. You've got to see his videos. I've put a link in my description below to Richie G's channel. If you do pop over there, tell him that your man Gaming Gorilla sent you over to him. Thank you very much. That's all from me, Mr. B. Ta-ta for now.